Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. Hang the regular season banner, guys. You're not the same, bruh. It's not.
I do not want the refs to be a part of my football game. This Ohio State team is different.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by your boy Cleveland Mike. Man, Terry could not make it. He wanted me to let y'all know. He wished he could be here, man, but he won't be able to be here tonight. But we always appreciate Terry. He definitely came through with the graphic, even though he could not be here, man. A lot of stuff always going on in college football, man, and college football is just like it's never been, right? Normally you didn't hear much, but back in the day you didn't hear much, but now you got the recruiting services. You have all of the clickbait. You have basically everything going on out here in the world for us to find out just different information, right? But we also have to be wary of the information that we are getting. And we're going to talk about that later in the show because, hey, even though they could be our favorite beat writers, even though they could be, our favorite media guys, sometimes they can be wrong. Hey, even me, I can be wrong sometimes. So you just got to, suck that up. While you guys are in here, and I am going to post this on Twitter or the X app. If you can, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Or if you are on the X app, hit that like button and the retweet button, man. It just help people join. We get more people in here, man. We are going to be talking about the NFL Combine right now in the comments. Let me know who you are excited about. That's what I want to know. In the comments, let me know who you are excited about in this NFL Combine. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up real quick, and then we'll get right back to it. All right. And there we go. All right. We got that situated, man. Now, a lot of people out here are talking about our guy, Coach Prime, man. And if you know me, I am a Coach Prime fan. A lot of people was hating on Coach Prime, right? A lot of people didn't like, hey, what the direction and Coach Prime was going once he got to a P4 job at Colorado. And one thing that at Colorado, his motto has been is I am not hard to find. And that's the thing. I'm not about to come to your house. I'm not about to get in any mix ups or anything. I'm not hard to find. If you want to talk to me, I'm not hard to find. If you want to come see me, I'm not hard to find. So shout out Emily in the chat. Shout out Ziploc. Shout out Doug. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. So here's the thing. Deion is not taking any recruiting trips. I think a lot of people aren't liking this. But here's the thing. You might not like his methods, but the old regime at Colorado was only winning one game. He upgraded that to me in the very first season because they won more than one game. Actually, people were talking about, hey, can this team actually make a run in the Pac-12, right? At a certain point. Then this following year, people actually thought, hey, can they find a way to sneak their ways in? Because there was a path for them in the Big 12 to get to the playoffs, right? They just had to get to the Big 12 championship. Obviously, they did not do that, but whatever Deion is doing, it has been working. Now, he loses some big pieces. What can he do after that? I still expect some big things from Prime. I don't expect them to be a one-loss team. Still should be able to be bowl eligible. So we'll continue to follow Prime. Like I said, I am a Prime fan. Everybody has been talking college football playoffs ever since, your Buckeyes have won the national championship. People just can't stop talking about it. Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair to Oregon who they had to play. It's not. Here's the thing. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? If Oregon was the best, they would have beat the best in the most crucial time. That's just, it is what it is, right? So there will be no reseeding in 2025, which I was trying to tell people there's no reason to, right? The thing that you're most focused about, because this is only a 2-year contract anyways with this 12-year. So the big thing that they were always worried about, the one that they want to actually get right, the one that they're going to like, hey, we can learn some things probably from this 12-team model, is when they push out the 14 or 16 model. That's the one that's going to mean the most, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Other than that, it's going to stay how it is. And I do want to say this, because I did not bring this point up last week, and I want y'all to let me know in the comments. Did the Big Ten screw themselves out with this expansion deal in the SEC and the Big Ten alliance? And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the reason why. In the 12-team playoffs, right? Or, well, when you're talking about the 14 and the 16 playoffs, the SEC and the Big Ten are guaranteeing that only 4 teams, well, not only, but at minimum 4 teams will get in from their conference in the college football playoffs. But when you had the 12 teams, the Big Ten had their 4. They had Indiana, they had Penn State, they had Oregon, and they had Ohio State. That's 4 already. So, I mean, if we're expanding, I need 5. I think the Big Ten probably could have had said, hey, sorry, SEC, I know you only got 3, so 4 looks good to you, but we're going to have to go 5. We already got 4 in the 12 team. What are you talking about, right? I think that's something that, what do y'all think? Let me know in the chat, man. I think the Big Ten kind of screwed themselves, only getting 4 when you already got 4 in, the first time in a 12 team, and possibly could go ahead and do that again. People are already thinking it because people are putting Ohio State in the college football playoffs. They're putting Penn State in there, and they're putting Oregon in there. And then everybody's talking about how veteran and everything that Illinois returns, can they do what Indiana did? There's a possibility. I think their schedule sets up a little bit where it's a possibility. So, I mean, we're going to find out. I think the Big Ten kind of screwed themselves. I think you should have gave yourself more than 4 teams. But NFL Combine, man, so many things going out. You have players who are going to the Combine, right? And they are doing the interviews, granted, but they are opting out of the workouts. And I feel like if you want to interview these players, you can interview them at any point, right? You could have started interviewing them after the NFL season. You can interview them even after the Combine. Like, there's so many different types. That's all it is an interview, right? The teams that know who they want, like the Shedeur Sanders, who's not working out, right? The Cam Wards, those teams know who they want, right? They're not working out. You go on a pro day. If you want to talk to them, go talk to them, right? That's just how I feel. I think what it did is it took away from players who actually, because here's the thing, the NFL Combine, they want numbers. They want people participating. They want, to show this, show that. But, I mean, your big draw, your guys, they're not participating. Why not allow the guys? Like, I have no understanding of why Josh Fryer, who has been a starting right tackle, the past 2 years, and who I seen improve himself dramatically why he's not getting a combine invite. I'm sure there's other guys at other schools who should have got combine invites, and those guys would have worked out. Those guys needed to work out. So that's just my take on players opting out, and I understand why they're opting out. My thing is, if they're going to opt out, just opt out of the whole combine, because regardless, you're still going to have to go through an interview process, and you don't need to go through the interview process at the combine. You're not doing anything else other than what, measuring. They got private workouts, all of that stuff too, right? You can get your measurements at that interview. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and get your measurements. After we do your measurements, we go ahead do the interview. You really have guys out here who are, I think, missing opportunities, but sometimes this is the NFL's way of how they want to hide what they might see as a diamond in the rough, right? And I'm hoping that G. Scott could possibly be that player who, all of a sudden, in the middle of his career, transitioned to tight end and just had to continue to develop, and you saw him continue to get better and making key plays as the season went along. And I'll tell you guys, I was thinking about this because we were talking about different quarterbacks or whatever, and we were talking about, oh, well, if this quarterback, somebody was saying another quarterback from another school, if this quarterback didn't do this, then they would have had this much success. And I'm like, okay, I could say this. Every time Will Howard threw an interception, somebody was always open, and one of the guys was G. Scott. And I'm telling you, man, I just wish if G. Scott had a guy like some of those targets, maybe that could have helped him be able to get one of those combine invites. So I do feel for a guy like G. Scott. But what we are here to talk about, Ohio State players, man, and I got this kind of in a row. What we're going to do right now is basically talk about each Ohio State player, who is leaving, who's at the combine, what we're expecting them to do, if they do anything at all. Jack Sawyer was saying, he's going to do some position drills, but, he's not doing, some of the other stuff, especially like the 40. These guys, I understand the Ohio State players, and this is another thing that the Big Ten and the SEC, you want to expand to 14, 16 teams. You have to get the college football calendar under control. And college football fans, I'll say, maybe our wait won't be as long as we thought. Maybe the football season will start sooner than what we are used to, because that's one of the biggest ways that I can see you fixing this calendar is you have to move it up at least a couple weeks. You have to. Also, Ryan Day was talking about screw the buys. a buy for what? And you saw every team that had a bye week, they lost. Don't know if that was just, anything to do with it, but it could have a lot to do with it as well. Gotta talk about Captain Jack Sawyer, man. The scoop is Sawyer, man. Gotta talk about Jack. Well, before we do that, I see people are in the chat, man. Shout out our guy J Bucks is in the chat. He was talking about, did themselves a disservice trying to handicap the SEC. If we have 5 to 6 teams worthy to qualify, they should get a shot. I mean, you would think so, but the way I was thinking about it is you've already took up between the Big Ten automatic qualifiers, right? J Bucks, automatic qualifiers. You've already taken up 8 spots between the Big Ten and SEC. Now you have guaranteed the ACC and Big 12 get 2 apiece. So that's 4. You're already at 12. Now you got to factor in Notre Dame. You're at 13. G5. Am I doing the math right? Yeah, 4, 8. 8 between the Big Ten and the SEC alone. You're talking about 2 apiece between the Big 12 and the ACC. That's 4. That 8 plus 4 equals 12. I mean, and like I said, you're adding a G5 in, boom, that's 13. And then you add Notre Dame in. So do you don't want 14 teams. You're handicapping yourself. You don't want 14. So I mean 16 teams, and then so now you got two out there. You know, I guess maybe that's what I'm saying. Just go ahead, Big Ten and SEC. Claim the fifth one. Claim it. It's there. I don't want to see another the third ACC team in there. That's like, did y'all want to see Syracuse in there? I mean, what was the third Big 12 team? Did y'all want to see them in there? No. So I mean, that's the thing with that. That's why Josh Fryer played most of the season on a bad ankle. And that's why I think he needs a like he should have been invited to the combine, man. You know, I think that guys like that and what he did, I don't think that he played bad. And I was a big critic of his. J Buck said teams be having individual workouts with prospects before the draft and everything. Unfortunate, takes a spot away from someone that could raise their stock at the combine. That's exactly my point, man. It really is unfortunate. And it is very shocking that the NFL hasn't been seeing this trend and has not got ahead of it. If anything, I would say that the NFLPA is doing a disservice to players, to the guys coming in by not stepping up, right? I think that's the disservice. The NFLPA does not do their job well enough. You know, that's why the NBA guys, they're able to make the money that they make because they fought for their stuff, you know? And the NFLPA, I just feel like it's just like nothing but an extension of the NFL, bro. They just be like, hey, that's all it is, man. They don't help that. It's the Players Association, but it's like it's the Players Association for the players who work for the bosses, right? Hey, this is what we want you to do. This is the agenda we want you to push with the players. Go ahead, push it, and do it. That's how I feel about that. All right, man. Captain Jack Sawyer. Got to listen to him a bit today, man. You know, he talked about some young Buckaroos. We'll get in that, who I think, you know, be replacing him and stuff like that. We'll get into that later. But he spoke about, you know, Tyleik Williams. I was looking for an interview for Tyleik. I couldn't find one. Not sure if Tyleik interviewed or if he was supposed to or not. But he talked about Tyleik, how he calls him Kung Fu Panda, just because of how twitchy, you know, Tyleik is. And Jack Sawyer, you know, talked a lot about, you know, the team coming together during that time. But Jack Sawyer, I think he, you know, made himself a lot of money during that playoff stretch. You're talking about something that was basically on the only thing on TV. So scouts were watching, everybody was watching. And every week that you continue to watch college football during the playoffs, you cannot say that there was not a time. Tennessee game, Jack Sawyer, wreaking havoc. Oregon game, Jack Sawyer, wreaking havoc. Texas game, Jack Sawyer. Notre Dame game, Jack Sawyer. I think Jack Sawyer made himself a lot of money. And just talking about throughout his career, man, us Buckeye fans are crazy. Because I tried to tell y'all, a lot of y'all weren't, you know, big Jack Sawyer fans. And I was trying to explain to y'all, you know, his freshman year, he really didn't get much playing time like JTT did, right? Then he steps in, what was that, 2021? 2022, he steps in and he's starting, but he's playing out of position. He's not playing the DN role, right? He's playing a jack position or whatever the heck they want to call it, is the position that he was playing, right? And then his junior year was his like first year truly at DN. And then everybody, he looked slow off the ball, and he did. I agree, but I kept telling people, just give him time, give him time. And at the end of his junior year, you started to see Jack Sawyer continue to get better. And I also felt that the reason why they couldn't get better was also scheme. I think that's the reason why you didn't see the numbers that you wanted to see as Buckeye fans was the scheme. And just imagine Jim knows if he had played maybe this scheme or whatever to scheme it from the playoffs, maybe all year or all last year, what that could have had done to their draft stock. So, I mean, Jack Sawyer, shout out to him, man. I'm proud of everything that he did. Now, I spoke earlier on how I got fried. Basically, Seth McLaughlin, when it was announced that he was coming to the Buckeyes, I said, I hope it's at guard. Well, shout out to my guy, Seth McLaughlin, because he kept that receipt. He definitely kept that receipt. And he posted up. I didn't think it was bad. Here's my thing. I thought Seth was a great dude. He could block his butt off, man. But I was worried about that snap. And we didn't even find out what was really, truly, deeply going on with the snap counts and all of that stuff at his time at Bama until Ryan Day had an interview at the end of the season and broke it down and everything. So I thought that was interesting. But hey, you got to stand on 10, man. I know some people delete their tweets and all of that stuff. No, got to stand on 10, stand in the paint. Shout out Seth McLaughlin, but also what Jack Sawyer said about Larry Johnson kind of makes me sad as a fan, as a Buckeye, because a lot of this fan base, and I feel like kind of majority of the fan base had turned on Larry Johnson. And Jack Sawyer said it's foolish. And here's the thing. You can say what you want about Jack Sawyer. You can say what you want about JTT. But we know that Larry Johnson and his track record, we know what he's done. And then we also saw when Jack Sawyer dug down deep, when JTT dug down deep, what they were able to do, right? So, for Jack to go out there and let recruits know Larry Johnson's the best in the game. He even called out the beat, on what people were putting out there about Larry Johnson. I think Larry Johnson, here's the thing, man. The whole Jim Knowles and all that stuff, it never added up. Because this is a man of faith. This is an old school man of faith. Old school, if you know old school, then you know that he's going to be the type of guy who's going to go and have that conversation and be able to have a respectful conversation with someone so that they don't have those issues. That's the type of guy that Larry Johnson is. That's what I've always known. So I don't understand why us, as a fan base, as an Ohio State fan base, why we just all of a sudden thought Larry wasn't being himself and he wasn't being like this man of God that we always have heard from every single player. Why did we all of a sudden, start believing that? So, I mean, shout out to Jack Sawyer. I feel like we have lost out on recruits, if these beat writers have talked to these kids, right? They interview these kids. They try to get quotes from these kids and everything. And if that kid asks them, hey, what are you hearing about Larry Johnson? And they're saying the same thing that they've been telling us. Oh, I hear he's on his way out the door. Oh, I hear he's getting ultimatums from Ryan Day. Oh, I hear he's causing friction. And then you hear other schools, hey, Larry Johnson, he's on his way out the door. All you're doing is nothing but confirming the gasolines because they're trusting you the same way that these Ohio State fans did. So I appreciate Jack Sawyer standing on 10, man, and supporting Larry Johnson. And I think that this fan base needs to go ahead and support, Larry Johnson as well, man. So see my guy Garrison in the chat said, man, dog, Mike gave him the material to be the best. That's the narrative I'm running with. I appreciate you, Garrison. That's what I took it as, man. And the fact that I could just give Seth a little bit of motivation, man, I take that. I will take that. We got to move to our other defensive end. Before we do that, Jack Sawyer talked about the future, and he said he has very high hopes on Edric Houston. If Edric Houston does what he is supposed to do and follows Larry Johnson coaches, the sky is the limit for Edric Houston. But he also brought up that he is interested to see what guys like K-Mac can do. And also he brought up Caden Curry. Caden Curry is who I'm looking to be able to replace Jack Sawyer. I think he's going to be more of your pass rush guy, right? Which I felt like Jack Sawyer was probably the better guy in pass rushing. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think Caden Curry is going to be what I like to call, as we move into 2025, one of the guys that I like to call Twitch monsters. A lot of people are worried about, hey, our defensive ends and saying, hey, Caden Curry this, Caden Curry that. Do you guys not remember that we used to bring Caden Curry in on goal line stands when he was just a freshman? Sometimes it's not about how much you weigh. I remember, I know that this is college and stuff, but sometimes it's about the dog, man. You talk about guys like TJ Watt, I don't think that he weighs the same or as some of these defensive ends and things like that. But you can't tell me that man ain't no dog. And that's the difference. That's why I think Caden Curry is going to replace Jack Sawyer. He has been making plays all over the field. And the reason why I'm able to say he's one of those Twitch monsters, because we also saw him making plays on special teams as well, man. So I'm really excited about Caden Curry and what he can do replacing Jack Sawyer on this defensive line. Moving on to JTT, I'm excited about JTT. I listened to a little bit of his interview. Don't remember if he said he's going to be doing any of the drills, man. But JTT, believe he can go. He made himself some money as well. I don't believe that he was able to live up to the hype that he should have. And again, the reason why I feel is because of scheme. I think our scheme, the scheme that we ran, had those guys playing more contained, and getting to the passer was like secondary. So I wouldn't be shocked if JTT and Jack Sawyer probably had better NFL careers than what some people think they did at Ohio State. I wouldn't be shocked, because maybe they might go to a scheme that better fits their skill set. And that's just one thing that happens in college, man. We've seen it. Ohio State fans, we have seen it. We've had a freak athlete like Baron Brown and just didn't use him, didn't run a scheme to be able to use him, didn't do anything. Then he goes to the NFL and goes crazy. So obviously, if you are an Ohio State fan, who I got replacing JTT is going to be Kenyatta Jackson, another one who I believe is a Twitch monster out here. I really believe that Kenyatta Jackson is going to be that guy. Everybody has been talking about this man since he has stepped on campus. And one thing that I have worried about him going into this season or going into the 2025 season is just him just being able to stay in this gap. And to be honest, he actually, somebody told me, hey, go watch film, towards the end of the season, and you'll see Kenyatta Jackson was actually doing a better job of staying in his gaps. So I'm really excited. I think that, with Matt Patricia, the way he likes to be multiple, I don't think that he's going to put these guys where they're hindering themselves or in his defense. So I'm expecting these guys to be able to get the numbers that they're supposed to get. But they have to follow the game plan. Don't go out there just thinking you're the best. As Larry Johnson said, you got to go in your toolbox, man. You have to get in your toolbox. So Ty Hamilton, man, Ty Hamilton is my guy. I see my guy Doug said, don't forget K-Mac. K-Mac is not going to be replacing JTT because K-Mac is a defensive tackle, Doug. He is not going to be on the outside. We haven't got the defensive tackles yet, but yeah, K-Mac is definitely going to be one who I'm going to talk about because anybody knows I've been a fan favorite of this guy since before he stepped on campus, man. But we're moving on. Ty Hamilton going in the combine. Most of these guys, I don't know if they're going to work out or if they are not, man. But Ty Hamilton, I believe, he has a brother, played Devon Hamilton, made himself a lot of money. And Doug said I wasn't responding to your comment. I appreciate that, Doug. My bad. But Ty Hamilton, man, I think that the sky's the limit. I don't know how he's going to do in the combine. A lot of people was expecting him to be better than his brother, his older brother, Devon Hamilton, and I did not see that, right? I was expecting it. I didn't see it. But he made plays this year, man, and I don't think that we would have been able to be the type of run stopping team that we were without him. So I'm hoping that he's able to go in and have good interviews, go in and test well. So I'm rooting for Ty Hamilton. I think they probably got Ty maybe. What do y'all think? Where y'all think Ty is going to be? 4th round, 5th round? Talk to me. Let me know in the chat. I don't know. I say in between maybe 4 to 6. In between 4 to 6. And then let's talk about who could be replacing Ty Hamilton. I think you're replacing Ty Hamilton with K-Mac, man. Our guy Doug's guy, man. K-Mac. So K-Mac is I love K-Mac. I think K-Mac is very twitchy. I think K-Mac is very strong. I am excited when you're talking about the Penn State game, right? And I think that everybody wants to dog Sark for doing the toss play or whatever to the outside. But I don't think that Sark does that if he didn't watch film on Ohio State. You get a guy out there like K-Mac, and we saw Penn State, they're known for having it's the Big Ten. They're known for having a top offensive line. K-Mac threw that boy in the backfield probably 3 to 4 yards. And you're talking about on goal line stand. And K-Mac did that. I'm expecting K-Mac to take that next level in development. You're talking about with Coach Mick. If he gets that stamina together and is able to be out there just as much as Ty Hamilton or just as much as Tyleik, watch out. This is a guy with very heavy hands, and I think he's just going to be another one of those guys where I say is a twitch monster. And then another thing, man, you're replacing Tyleik Williams, right? Our guy Tyleik Williams, I did not see if he had an interview or not, man. But Tyleik Williams, I don't think that he really has to do any of the drills. I do think some drills might be able to benefit him, but I think his tape and what he's been able to do and the caliber of guys that he did it against, who they were talking about these guys on the O-line. I mean, they were talking about these guys on the O-line going to be first, second round guys. And what I seen Tyleik Williams was doing to them, I'm just like, he just seems superior. So I'm expecting Tyleik Williams have a great career in the NFL. Just wishing Tyleik Williams nothing but the best. Who do I expect to replace him is Edric Houston. as our guy Jack Sawyer said, the sky is the limit for him. I'm expecting Edric Houston, and here's the thing: Edric Houston is not only strong, and we saw him rotating in, getting reps. And I know everybody's talking about, hey, Ohio State lost these 15 guys. Everybody who I am talking about, who I've been talking about, Caden Curry, has been getting reps, like I said, since he was a freshman. This is going to be his senior year. Kenyatta Jackson, who's been getting reps since at least 2023, is a what? Senior. Like these guys are going into their senior year. Edric Houston is going into his sophomore year, and he came here as a defensive end. But the coaching staff saw something in him where, hey, I think we can get you on the field right now at a defensive tackle. And I think the guy was making plays. And again, the development from Larry Johnson, the reason why he was here, the only reason he's here. Remember, he told you guys this. He had to make sure that Larry Johnson was going to be here. So everybody was talking about Larry Johnson was giving an ultimatum. Larry Johnson on his way out the door. Larry Johnson this, Larry Johnson that. Edric Houston, the one who told you, I'm only here because Larry Johnson here. So I think he's going to take that development, and that he knows. Here's the thing about when you know that there's a spot up, and this is why I think that this team could be hungry, because here you're fighting. Yeah, you guys were fighting, last year, get to the Natty, beat that team up north and stuff. These guys are also now, they might not just be fighting to repeat. These guys are fighting for spots. That's different. That's different. This is where you see if guys are going to be passed up or they're going to step up. I remember in 2014, you had a Raekwon McMillan coming in. And what did he do? Push a Curtis Grant, right? That's what I'm saying. I think that a guy like Edric Houston, he's going to, the way he is pushing, what he is doing, also K-Mac as well, K. McDonald, what they're doing in that room, I think it's going to push a lot of guys to be great. And I think that also, since we were talking about defensive tackles, I see everybody in the chat is talking about them. You got Jason Moore. Here's a time for him. There's a spot there. There is playing time. It's time for you to step up, young man. I also saw my guy J Bucks also said you got Tywone Malone. And I know a lot of people. Here's the thing. I seen people was talking about, hey, Tywone Malone, not so good. It was only last year was his second year, I believe, of just actually working on football. No baseball, none of that. Staying at his weight, continually training and working on the craft of football. You get another year of that, this third year that he's about to get in development with Larry Johnson. And we saw him out there a few times. I think that he also is seeing, hey, I have a shot here. I have a shot. I also need to read, I seen one of the podcasts put out an article. I need to go read that. I seen his mom had retweeted that. So I need to check that out. But I think that there's a lot of rotation that can go on. And I believe that the defensive tackles position at Ohio State is very deep. I know that all I can do is, I guess I'm going off of hope. But here's the thing. I've seen the production out of K-Mac. I've seen the production out of Edric Houston. Here's the thing. Going into this year, I mean, I was trying to tell y'all about K-Mac, but nobody could have told me about the production that we would get out of Edric Houston. Not at D tackle. We all thought he was the end. And then we were like, hey, how he's going to get past Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry, right? So, everybody can say, hey, you're fanning out this and that. The development with Larry Johnson has always held true. And I just feel like I think where a lot of people at Ohio State as Ohio State fans, where you're feeling is you're still feeling the drop-offs that we had from 2021. And I'm trying to explain to you all, and I have been explaining to you all on this network, everybody that's been rocking with Best Damn Media, I have been explaining to you all how much this talent is getting better and better and better. The talent on this roster is, I believe, way better than it was in 2021. Yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, we had these guys and it was coaching, but I'm telling you, the talent and the depth is way better. And the coaching is better this time. So I'm trying to tell y'all, stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. We move on to the linebacker, our guy, Cody Simon, man. I'm excited about Cody Simon. I think that Cody Simon was maybe snubbed a little bit, in the awards. Obviously, maybe not win the Buckets Award, but the man should have been at least, on the watch list. I mean, not the watch list, but, a finalist or semifinalist or something. But Cody Simon, heart and soul of the team. I guess he was saying that he was trying not to let us know who was going to be wearing the Block O, but it sounds like it's going to be your guy Sonny Styles, which I was talking to the fellas and I told them that's who I think is getting the Block O. It's going to be Sonny Styles when you just think about who's coming back and what that Block O means and what it also I feel like has meant off the field as well, because you're just talking about great guys who have had that and what they have done off the field, in the locker room, and have always been leaders on the team. And to be honest, man, everybody who has worn that Block O seems to go on and have a pretty good career in the NFL. And I believe Cody Simon is going to go ahead and be able to do that, man. I think he's going to have a good career in the NFL. As long as he continues to just continue to play smart. And I just felt like he knew what he was doing. And that's the Cody Simon that, you don't have the time to develop and have that time. You need to go in there and know what you're doing in the NFL. So I do believe if Cody Simon can go in the NFL, know what he's doing, and trigger like a linebacker, because when he's triggering like a linebacker and having, and you can see the linebacker instinct, that's what I'm saying, knowing what he's doing, that's when Cody Simon's at his best. And so if he can continue to take that into the NFL, man, I think the sky's the limit. Talking about who's replacing Cody Simon. He basically told you your next year linebackers, what he's expecting is Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. And he talked about Arvell Reese, just how he's a downhill guy. And I mean, Buckeye fans, you've seen it. I've seen it. I'm excited about Arvell Reese and what he's going to do. He's also talked about Peyton Pierce. He said Peyton Pierce is underrated. So take that for what you will, man. Peyton Pierce right here in Texas. I was going to go try to watch a game, but then he had got hurt. So I didn't go, to any of his games that year because he had, young man got hurt. But, I went and I got to see Riley Pettijohn. I hear he's making noise in the Woody. So take that for what it is, man. I tried to tell y'all right here, had his dad right here at the Best Damn Media. So I tried to tell y'all, hop on the train. It's not too late. Not too late. Go ahead and get your Riley Pettijohn jersey. Moving on to Emeka Egbuka, man. Emeka Egbuka, I would say, the heart and soul of that offensive skill position, man, or one of the hearts and souls of the offensive skill position. Definitely the heart and soul of Zone 6. He will be missed. Emeka Egbuka, I hear some people are wanting him to slide in the second round, and I don't understand this. I don't understand why people just won't learn about Ohio State wide receivers, and I feel like the NFL learned. The NFL like the GMs and everybody, the coaches, they learned we cannot miss on an NFL, on the Ohio State wide receiver. And I felt like they learned that after Terry McLaurin. And so you really have not seen Ohio State wide receivers go out of the first round. And why not? What Hartline is doing, the development that you know that you're getting, and here's the thing: all of those guys are NFL ready. They're NFL ready. We hear about how the playbook at Ohio State was NFL style. So how they were able to just adjust the adjustments that they were able to make. And I think, they saying the Mecca might go to my Steelers, So if you don't know, I'm a Steelers fan. You see the Franco hairs behind me a little bit when I move, and you see the Steelers helmet. So definitely would love them to go to my Steelers. I'll take a Mecca. And you replace a Mecca with Brandon Ennis, man. You saw Brandon Ennis out there in the national championship game breaking off Notre Dame DBs who they told us they was the best DBs in the world at Notre Dame, if you let Notre Dame fans tell it. So I think that Zone 6 is going to be good. Even though Emeka, everybody's talking about, hey, but you lose a leader. Brandon Ennis has been on the leadership council. Here's the thing. Brandon Ennis has been a leader his whole life. When him, Carnell, and JJ was playing on SFE, who you think was the leader? Brandon Ennis. So I think this is going to be one of the smoothest transitions of the wide receiver room. I'm really excited about that. Shout out to Emeka and what he has done. He had his 1 year where he was hurt and he had to deal with Kyle McCord. My bad. Dang, I did that. It is what it is. But he had to deal with Kyle McCord, and obviously Gilwell Howard lights it on fire, and he was healthy. Moving on, you got Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Here's the thing. I think Travion go ahead. He run that 40, and he run a low 4.3, like a low 4.3. Yeah, I think you'll see Trey. You might have to talk about, hey, low first round, because we know how the NFL like to do running backs. If not very, very high second round guy. You see what Travion was able to do. And shout out Coach Locke, because I was one of the biggest critics of Travion Henderson and his vision. And what he was able to do with his vision this year, I thought was just amazing. He looked a whole lot better. And I'll tell you this, if we had 2023 Travion Henderson vision, he don't hit that crease and take it to the crib like he did against Texas. So shout out to Travion Henderson. I hope he has an amazing NFL career. Wish him nothing but the best. And then you got Quinshon Judkins, man. This is a guy, I don't think he needs to participate in any drills. I think that everything in Quinshon's game is on tape. And you also saw, I watched Coach Locke's interview, and you saw like the things that Quinshon needed to improve or wanted to improve, he actually did at Ohio State. So I think whoever gets Quinshon or Trey, they're going to have a great back. I think Quinshon's going to definitely be an every down back. You saw what he was able to do, even just catching the ball out the backfield, man, which was one thing that he wanted to show that he could do at Ohio State. So shout out Quinshon Judkins. And then the 3 touchdowns in the national championship was amazing. Replacing that two-headed monster, man, you bring in, I believe, C.J. Donaldson from West Virginia. I believe he averaged like 5 yards a carry or so at West Virginia. I would say that here's the thing. For one, it is weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe he could come in here and be, a little bit more athletic, Miyan Williams. I do know that he has battled with injuries. That's a concern. And then it's just the ACC doesn't really play defense But then I also know like West Virginia probably didn't have one of the best offenses or you know, couldn't keep, a defense honest. I didn't really watch many West Virginia games, so I don't know. Maybe I'm making excuses. The CJ Donaldson, hopefully he's going to be a good addition. What I do see is what we had, one thing that Coach Locke said, you get Quinshawn in there. You're good back for, short yardage goal lines. I believe that's one thing that CJ definitely does bring to this Buckeye team. And if you have to go running back by committee, honestly, I would not hate it. James Peoples, man. Everybody's expecting him to have that flash, that J.K. Dobbins flash, and that's one guy that he looked up to. So I'm hoping to see it. But here's the thing: I think this running back room is deep, and what Carlos Lachlan did with Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins, and one thing I think no one continues to miss, or when they talk about what he did, is this man did not have them for a full spring. Spring was over when this man came in the door. Ryan Day was the running backs coach. He was the running backs coach. Now he got these guys for a whole off season, bro. And he will be having these guys for a whole spring. So I believe the biggest issue with these guys, because I believe they all have vision, is who can pick up pass pro. That's what's going to get you on the field. Who can pick up pass pro? James Peoples, he's going to have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, you cannot see the field, and that's going to be crucial with a, first-time quarterback out there in Julian Sain. Moving on to Donovan Jackson, man. Mr. I can do it all. You want me to play God? Baby, I can play God. Want me to play tackle? I can play tackle. That's Mr. Donovan Jackson, man. Shout out to Donnie and what he was able to do. Donovan Jackson, hey, put him through whatever, man. I mean, you put him through O-line drills, and I do want to see when he goes through his O-line drills, how they're measured compared to the other, top tackles in the combine as well. So I am interested to see that. Also, you got Josh. I'm just going to, name off the offensive line and talk about who's replacing them. Josh Simmons, is coming back from the injury. Looks like everything's going to be good. Hopefully he's going to be a first rounder, but could, possibly slide to the second. As long as he's able to come back healthy, I think whoever gets him is going to have an amazing left tackle. What he was able to do and just his dedication to development, I thought was amazing. So as long as he continues to do that, he's going to represent Ohio State in the Block O very well. And you're talking about replacing Seth McLaughlin, our center. You already know who replaced him during the season. And obviously you can't replace Josh Simmons with Donovan Jackson again because Donovan Jackson's gone. But you do replace Donovan Jackson with what you saw, a Luke Montgomery who was out there, who might not have been ready to start in the beginning of the season, but when his number was called at the end of the year, he showed up and he showed out. You're going to basically have your interior guys that you had from the playoffs. And to be honest, I have no issue with that. What you are replacing is your tackles. It's either going to be the Daniels guy, and I am not going to mess up the other guy's name. So you got two tackle transfers that came in. And here's the thing. Talking about them, and I'm going to talk about the offensive line from a perspective of the playoff offensive line, right? I think the 2025 offensive line can be better. You're talking about a Luke Montgomery getting another year of strength. Also, another year of just knowing what he is doing as well. Same thing with Carson Hinsman. Same thing with Tegra, Austin Saraville in their first year playing. your interior, I think you bring them back, they're going to be good. And also with your tackles, one thing that I felt like is, with Donovan Jackson, you had all of these guards were playing. I think our starting offensive line is going to be more athletic, allow us to do a little bit more things that I think that maybe Ryan Day has wanted to do in the past and haven't been able to do that. I think that whoever's going to be playing right tackle is already going to be an upgrade over Josh Fryer because I just feel like they're more athletic than he is, have better feet than he does as well. So I'm very interested in seeing that. I hope those guys have a great NFL career and wish them the best, man. And again, if I see Seth, I owe him a cigar and a drink. That's on me. You put me in the pack, brother. I appreciate you. And then you got Denzel Burke, man. Denzel Burke, Mr. First Round. We thought Denzel Burke was going to be that first round shutdown corner. I do think that this year he did lose a little bit of stock, but he still could possibly go out here, test well. And I don't think that this combine is going to be for most of these players. I think it's going to be the pro day where they're going to want to showcase most of their talent. So you got Denzel Burke heading out the door, possibly go second, maybe third round. We're going to see. We're not going to talk about draft grades right now, really too much because they don't matter right now until you start seeing, after I say the pro days and things like that. But you're replacing Denzel Burke with, you already know who, Jermaine Matthews, man. And not only that, I do feel like this defensive back room is deep. You bring in Devin Sanchez, I believe the number one cornerback in the country, right? He should be able to rotate in. He also came in early. And then you have Bryce West. Well, we saw Bryce West when he got out there to Tennessee, how he's able to flip his hips, how he's just able to be fluid, look back for the ball. I'm really excited about this defensive back room, man. And no slight to Denzel Burke, but Denzel, cornerback, this was his thing, first time, bro, at Ohio State. He was more, I believe, of an offensive guy in high school. So no slight to Denzel Burke. It's just maybe might still be a little bit a learning curve, or he just might be a better, zone corner, or he could just, like I said, it's something he might have to, work through. But I think he did, deal with some injuries. Also, he talked about not having, faith in the play calling and stuff like that. So, he'll be with NFL defensive coordinators. Hopefully he'll have more faith in that. And then you are replacing Jordan Hancock, man. I think Jordan Hancock is so underrated in his draft because I think he has the skill set to do a lot of things, man. I think he can play. I think he can play outside. I think maybe not like every down outside, but I think that there are some times where you can, disguise the coverage and have him guarding on the outside. I believe that he could play nickel. Obviously, we know that. You can move him to safety. I believe he's also rangy. So I think he could be somebody's Swiss Army knife. I don't know where he's going to go, but I do hope that he tests well for the NFL scouts, man. I'm very, very excited to see Jordan Hancock and how he looks in the future, man. And these guys got to represent BIA, man, because our guys getting old, man. The Marshawn Lattimores and the Denzel Wards, as the YNs like to say, they getting old. They getting old. I'm 35 and they're already calling me old grandpa. I'm like, dang, 35, you're old, just because I got a little wisdom in my beard, don't mean I'm old. But hey, it's cool. It's cool. And then one of my favorites, man, this reminds me of old school style linebackers, man. He out there hitting people like Brian Dawkins used to hit people, man. Lathan Ransom coming out here entering into the combine. And Lathan, he was talking about, I see him on the Bobby Carpenter show. He was talking about, sometimes he's, still feel a little dinged up, still got some nicks. So, like I said, these guys don't work out. I have no issues, bro. Like, they are like a month and some change away from playing a national title game, bro. So after playing just a bruising season, so let them guys recover. And that's another thing. Like, is the NFL going to be willing to switch up their window to help the college football playoff model? Like, come on, help us. Come on, please. So Lathan Ransom, who do you replace Lathan Ransom with? I'll tell you guys, man, you already got the best safety in the country, one of the best defensive players in the country in Caleb Downs. And I think here you also can rotate. I think you got guys rotate. I think you can rotate Hartford in there. Think you can also rotate McClain in there. I think that those guys just have a different skill set. But one thing that I do think that they have is they both come down and hit. So I don't think that part is going to be missed. Maybe they don't give people concussions or knocked out the game every time they hit them or go on that type of streak like Lathan Ransom. Somebody had to pay the ransom. Maybe they don't do that. But one thing that I do think you gain out of this Lathan Ransom loss is I do think that you get better in coverage. We've seen the flashes from McClain. And, one thing you could talk about is, hey, spring game is just a spring game. And, Buckeye fans, we're going to miss that spring game and I'm going to tell you why we're going to miss it. Because you've seen the flash from McClain in the spring game, and sometimes they don't translate during the season or in game. But it translated. And one thing that translated is his coverage ability. And I'm very excited about it. I think that this BIA, this DB room, can potentially get a lot of turnovers. I believe that they could possibly get a lot of turnovers, especially if you have the Twitch monsters up front doing what I believe that they can do. And then, last but not least, man, Mr. MVP. I was one of his critics. I couldn't believe that we had hit the portal to get Will Howard. And, I was critical of it. Man, we went and got Will Howard. But Will Howard came out. He proved all the doubters wrong. Came out here, was a national championship quarterback. But not just that, he left a staple at Ohio State in completion. I mean, we thought we was calling CJ Stroud, man, Mr. Ball's placement specialist, all of this, which he is. We're not taking that away from CJ. We've seen some great ones, some great quarterbacks come out of here these last few years. What Dwayne Haskins was doing, and Will Howard, we just see how much better he continued to get throughout the season. And but yeah, J Bucks, thank you. We did know that Howard was forever better than McCord. We knew that. Yes, I did know that. But my whole thing was wasn't that we got Will Howard. It was the simple fact of what does it say that you don't have a guy ready? What does that say? So that kind of had me worried about our quarterback development for a minute when Kyle McCord didn't look good, then we don't really get to see much of Devin Brown, and so it's like, what's going on? Like, can we not develop or, can we not evaluate what's going on? But Will Howard, what he did, I appreciate Will Howard, man. And Will Howard, I think maybe Will Howard, I don't know. I think the offensive line did a good job keeping them clean. I think the thing that hit Will Howard the most where he probably won't be able to, probably still feeling a little sore is the turf. The turf got Will a lot this year. Shout out to the turf in Ohio Stadium and everywhere, getting the Texas game in Arlington, man. Will Howard, I don't know what he got. I don't know what's up with the turf, but Will Howard should not run a 40. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, if Will Howard run that 40 and freaking falls like he freaking did, bro, I'm be so dang on pissed, man. But yeah, I think Will Howard, man, he has an opportunity to go ahead and steal the show in this draft. There's guys who don't want to work out. Go show them, hey, this is why you get me. You have an opportunity. So, and also hopefully Will can show, hey, I actually got better at my deep ball as well. Boom. Everybody can stop talking about it. Now replacing Will. Ryan Day said quarterback battle is open between Julian Sayin, Lincoln Kienholz, and Tavian St. Clair. But if you ask majority of Buckeye Nation and majority of the media, they will tell you that this is Julian Sayin's job to lose. Some people who are being very critical of Julian Sayin are being critical of him only because of a throw in the Tennessee game at Ohio State. And I'm telling you, you are foolish if that's the main reason why you're criticizing that young man. Because I'm telling you, he's from California, and this is his first time playing football in the winter, and he sat at the bench the whole time. And y'all want him to come out here and throw strikes on the dang on far side of the field. Get out of here, man. Y'all is tripping, man. So like Lathan Ransom even said, coming from Arizona, it took him a couple years to adjust to that cold. So, Sayin getting that second year right now in that cold, he'd be all right. He'd be all right by next playoff. He'd be okay. Plus, if he's a starting quarterback, he should be warm, right? If he had been out there warm the whole time and did that, I could see that. My biggest issue or my biggest worry, I'm not going to say issue with Sayin, is I'm worried about game nervousness. I felt like, I'm going to keep bringing it up, I felt like I seen it in the spring game last year, and that was in front of, I want to say, 60 to 80,000 Buckeye fans. What happened? You go in that Texas game, that stadium about to be sold out. Texas fans going to travel up to Columbus, and Buckeye fans going to already have it, had their portions sold out, gone. So, I'm very interested in this quarterback battle, but I do want to say this, and Garrison had brought this point up. Was it Garrison? No, it wasn't Garrison. It was Terry. Maybe I'll let Terry bring it up later. But I'll let Terry bring that point up. But I'll say this: if Lincoln Kienholz can come out here and be a more athletic version of Will Howard, would you not take that? Would you not take a more athletic version of Will Howard? Now, Lincoln Kienholz he's a junior. He's been here for 3 years. Also, everybody's saying, oh, he didn't get game reps. He didn't get game reps. Yeah, he didn't really get the game reps. He was sitting behind Devin Brown, Julian Sayin. I guess he was fourth. But he was our scout team quarterback, and we heard about how good of looks he was giving our defense. He was going up against our first team defense every single day, not just on a Saturday, not just one day, not just for one game or something. He was going up against that first team defense so much to give them the best look. So he knows how it is when the bullets are flying and stuff. Is he able to read coverages and things like that? Because I believe he has the athletic capability to extend plays, to also get the ball down. To get his feet downfield as well and extend drives. So I would be excited if it's Lincoln Kienholz, if that's who Ryan Day picked. I would also be excited if it's Julian Saint, and Julian Saint is the generational guy that everybody has been telling us he is, right? If he's able to make all of those throws, the right reads, things like that, I had no issues. All I want is for Ohio State to pick the right guy, and Ryan Day definitely has to make sure he put the right guy with Brian Hartline, because you can't set Brian Hartline up for failure again. You know how you deal with the whole Kyle crap, bro. So can't do that. Again, if you are here, if you are watching on X, make sure you hit that like button, hit that retweet button, man. Post it in your group. Tell people, hey, man, go check Mike out. You can follow me right there at 216_wildboy. Make sure that y'all are tapping in with us. Also, you can tap in with Terry, the bottom of the screen right there. You got him at collegefootball_stop, and you got me at 216_wildboy. I appreciated all of y'all pulling up, man. Make sure that y'all hit that notification bell. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you ain't subscribed on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so that you know what we got going on. Because I was on the phone with Cam, man, and I'm talking. I don't know. I got the itch to do some more stuff. I do check us out. We got something rolling out. If y'all haven't seen the tweet, I'll repost it so that y'all can. But make sure that y'all are subscribed over at the Voice of College Football Ohio State channel, because myself, Garrison, Ron, Chris, Drew from Minutes to Sports, we are all about to go ahead and basically be a panel. We're about to get some stuff together. So you're going to hear my takes, Ron takes, Chris, Drew takes. Hey, if we end up disagreeing, you're going to see it right in 4K, because we have had so many conversations off air. Why not just have some of these conversations on air that we do have in these discussions, man? So I appreciate you guys rocking with us again. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. And with that, man, I'm out of here. Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. Hang the regular season banner, guys. You're not the same, bruh. It's not.
I do not want the refs to be a part of my football game. This Ohio State team is different.